Every day you make plans to be more productive, more consistent, more in control. And every day, somewhere between the plan and the execution, something slips. You tell yourself you need more willpower. But research shows that willpower is the wrong target entirely. The most disciplined people in the world don't rely on willpower. They've built systems that make discipline automatic. And the neuroscience explains exactly how to do the same. A landmark study by Angela Duckworth and colleagues found that the most self-disciplined people weren't those who used the most willpower. They were the ones who faced the fewest tempting situations. As she put it, people with high self-control are not better at resisting temptation. They're better at structuring their lives so that they rarely have to. Discipline, according to research, is an environmental and structural achievement, not a psychological one. Self-control and discipline research has accelerated significantly over the past 2 decades, with insights coming from behavioral psychology, neuroscience, and habit science. The picture that has emerged contradicts decades of pop psychology advice about motivation and willpower. In this video, we are going to see what actually drives disciplined behavior according to research, why willpower fails predictably, and what specific habits and systems the data consistently shows produce the most reliable self-regulation. Willpower is a resource that depletes. Research on ego depletion, the gradual exhaustion of self-control capacity across the day, shows that every decision, every temptation resisted, and every moment of focus you exert draws from the same finite pool. By evening, after a full day of cognitive demands and decisions, your self-regulation capacity is measurably diminished. This isn't a personality flaw. It's a well-documented neurological phenomenon. The prefrontal cortex is the brain region responsible for self-control, planning, and overriding impulses. It's also one of the most energy-demanding regions of the brain. Under conditions of stress, sleep deprivation, blood sugar fluctuations, or decision fatigue, prefrontal activity drops, and the more impulsive limbic system takes over. Studies show that after a poor night of sleep, people perform 40 to 60% worse on self-regulation tasks. Discipline isn't failing. The neurological hardware supporting it is simply offline. The difference between people who consistently maintain disciplined behaviors and those who don't isn't motivation intensity, it's behavioral automaticity. A major review by Wood and Neal found that approximately 40 to 45% of daily behavior is habit, performed automatically without conscious decision-making. The most disciplined individuals have simply automated the key behaviors. They don't decide every morning whether to exercise or what to eat for breakfast. Those decisions are already made, already embedded in routine. Berkman and colleagues at the University of Oregon used neuroimaging to study individuals who consistently maintained health behaviors versus those who did not. The high-discipline group showed not stronger willpower activation in the prefrontal cortex, they showed less prefrontal activity. Their behaviors had become habitual and automatic, requiring minimal conscious effort. The finding inverts our intuition. Truly disciplined people are those for whom disciplined behavior has become the path of least resistance. Research on habit formation, specifically the time required for a new behavior to become automatic, found that the average time is 66 days, not the commonly cited 21 days. Philippa Lowley's study at University College London tracked 96 participants forming new habits and found a range of 18 to 254 days depending on complexity. Simple habits like drinking a glass of water before breakfast automated quickly. Complex habits like running before work took much longer. Research on environmental design and discipline shows dramatic effects. In one study, people who rearranged their kitchen to place healthy foods at eye level and moved unhealthy foods to opaque containers reduced unhealthy food consumption by 30% with zero willpower exerted. In another, people who placed exercise equipment in a visible location exercised 44% more frequently than those whose equipment was stored away. Research identifies 4 structural interventions that reliably build discipline without depending on willpower. Implementation intentions, deciding in advance when, where, and how a behavior will occur, increase follow-through by 91% in some studies. Habit stacking, attaching a new behavior to an existing one, dramatically speeds automation. Social commitment, public accountability or social contracts, leverages social motivation to maintain consistency. The discipline framework that research supports has 3 tiers. First, environmental architecture. Design your physical space so your default behaviors are the ones you want. Second, behavioral scheduling. Use implementation intentions to anchor key behaviors to specific times, places, and triggers. Third, biological support. Protect sleep above all. because one poor night can undo days of habit building by temporarily shutting down the prefrontal cortex that supports all self-regulation. The research-based habit stacking protocol works by linking new behaviors to existing high-consistency anchors. Your morning coffee is a near-perfect anchor. You already do it daily at roughly the same time. Research shows anchoring new habits to high-consistency existing behaviors speeds automation significantly. Structure your stack. Wake up, existing habit, new habit. For exercise, shoes by the door, workout clothes laid out the night before, phone charger in the gym bag. This week, identify your single highest priority discipline behavior, the one whose consistent execution would most change your life. Write a specific implementation intention for it. On Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:30 a.m., I will exercise for 20 minutes in my living room. Place anything that supports this behavior in your visual field. Remove any physical obstacle between you and that behavior, and then execute the specific plan, not the general aspiration. If a habit breaks after missing a few days, then restart immediately without penalty. Research shows missing once does not statistically affect long-term habit formation. What matters is returning quickly. If you feel unmotivated to execute a planned habit, then do the minimum viable version. 2 minutes of the intended behavior activates the cue response loop and often carries into the full behavior. Research is unambiguous. Discipline built on willpower is fragile, depletable, and context-dependent. Discipline built on habits, environmental design, and behavioral scheduling is durable, automatic, and compound. The most self-disciplined people you know aren't fighting harder, they've stopped fighting altogether. They've built lives where the right behavior is the easiest behavior. That's not an accident. It's a design. And now you have the research to design your own. Understanding what discipline actually is, according to research, changes everything about how you try to build it. MedBrief today brings you that kind of paradigm-shifting science. If this changed how you think about your habits, there's a great deal more ahead. If today's video helped clarify something, share it with someone who needs it. Most people never see research summarize this clearly. That's exactly what this channel is here to do.